Welcome to Talk Around Riyadh, the Wheel of Time showcast. I am your host, Joe Perry, here with my beloved co-hosts, Jen Isgro, Tom Kokoza, and most beloved special guest co-host, Brendan T. Johnston. Jen, it was this episode was an emotional roller coaster. How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Unfortunately for me, even though I was avoiding the internet all yesterday until I watched it, I went on Twitter for literally 30 seconds and had something ruined for me. So I think...
What was ruined?
We should all... A certain person not making it out of the episode.
You could say it here, Jen. We all saw the episode and everybody... We're here to talk about the episode.
The Loyal.
Okay.
And I was like, really? Like...
The one thing that could be spoiled for you, basically.
But it's right. I was like, why can't we just not do it for 24 hours? I know people are excited. Or put spoilers before you write something.
Yeah. That's why
that's not hard.
That's
so
why
I was kind of annoyed about that.
Don't even look.
And then I was like, I probably read it wrong. So I sat through the whole episode I definitely read that. I definitely read that wrong because that's not going to happen. But it's fine. We're good. It's okay.
How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing all right, Joe. I would say I got a lot of feelings about this episode.
That's good. We're gonna let those feelings out tonight, all over. Mm-hmm. Brendan.
Yeah,
this was a Perrin episode. Brendan, how you feeling?
Sure was. We'll get to that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I feel bad. How I feel right now is I feel bad for Jen because I know what it's like to get stuff like that spoiled. It really sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the Sixth Sense spoiled for me. And I've never seen the movie because of it.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
And people tell me, well, it's still a good movie. And I'm like, I'm sure it is, but I don't know. I'm just never going to watch it. Anyway, reminder that the first half or the first part of this episode, we will be book spoiler free. And then Brendan will exit and we will talk a little bit about some book spoilers. So anyone who hasn't read the books, you are safe for now.
Didn't we have a run of episodes, I think in season 2, where Joe inadvertently spoiled other movies? It was like 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were old movies.
Like unintentionally. I know, but still, it was just it was just a weird series of coincidences.
Yeah. Jen, I'm really excited to hear your recap because this was action packed, and I want to hear your action coverage. So why don't you go ahead?
Okay. I'm just going to get going. Episode 307, Golden Eyes, was written by Dave Hill and directed by Kieran Donnelly. In the Two Rivers, the people are readying for war. They've built walls around the town and are training with weapons, including the power, under the direction of Maxim and Alana. Perrin, Lord Golden Eyes, is showing some boys the best way to sharpen a blade when an alarm goes up that someone is approaching. But it's not the Trollocs, it's the Tuatha'an Perrin and Egwene met in Season 1, including Illa and her grandson Aram. Unfortunately, Illa's husband Rand has been recently killed by Trollocs. Other refugees from nearby towns have also come for protection. While eating together, Illa expresses disappointment that Perrin never returned to them and instead chose the way of violence. But it looks like Aram is not far behind him and has started to become jaded with the whole way of the leaf way of life. Nearby, Dain and Shead talk about all the dirty things they would do to Aram if he wasn't a disgusting tinker. Oh, girls. Alana is giving the Bud speech to the Cawthon girls again, but it isn't working so well. Oh, hey, Daze Congar is watching, and Alana says she can channel too. Daze just wants to make sure she can still drink. Maxim is training some men with poison spears, but Sen Bui tells him to shut the hell up and get these people some Two Rivers longbows. Maxim and Alana confer, and Maxim is not confident that they are living through this battle. A wolf-head banner has been raised in the square, and Perrin does not love it. He is not ready to lead, but Faile tells him the people follow him because he is one of them, and they need something to believe in. Perrin had Faile send a message to Lord Luke to have the White Cloaks meet him in the mountain pass. Why Luke? I don't know either, and it doesn't really matter. Perrin and Dain face off, and Perrin asks for the White Cloaks' help against the Trollocs. Dain accuses Perrin of being a dark friend, but it doesn't matter if he is or not. Dain hates him because he murdered Jeffrem. Perrin's real sorry about that. Is Dain sorry about killing Natty? The violence has to stop somewhere. Perrin says if the White Cloaks help, Perrin will give himself up after the battle, but Dain doesn't buy it. If the Trollocs don't finish you, we will. Sick line. Good luck, Two Rivers. Loial is hard at work on his book, comparing the Two Rivers of today to the people of Manetheren who died fighting Trollocs so long ago. He abruptly decides to put the writing down for now, and on what could be their last night alive, finally play Maiden's Kiss with Bane and Chiad. Maxim teases Alana with figs and tells her not to turn off the bond. He wants to feel every bit of her. Oh yeah, they used to have sex, and they do it again, in a new way they have to discover, just the two of them. Faile comforts Perrin and tells him her general father is always scared before a battle, but she's not because she's not a big baby. Classic Faile. Perrin wants to send Faile away before the fighting starts because he is due to put an axe through someone's gut. But she calls him out on it and says she and Layla both deserve to be honored for choosing to fight. The Maiden's Kiss game is happening, but Loial keeps pulling away from their kisses, and their spears keep moving deeper into his throat. Through a series of toe manipulations, T-O-H, not T-O-E, we discover Loial was trying to get the maidens to leave before the battle, but they have to stay because now Bane has toe. We'll talk about it later. Perrin shows Matt's sisters the portrait of him blowing the horn and tells them their brother is a hero now, but all they can do is mock him, and it's the truest depiction I've seen on this show so far. The laughter is short-lived because now the Trollocs really are coming. They only have one path to the Two Rivers, the mountain pass. Perrin asks the Tuatha'an to escape with the children through a hidden route if the battle goes south. Loial tells Perrin that if the Waygate remains open, the Trollocs will just keep coming, and he, Bane, and Chiad have to close it for good. Perrin tells him to go straight to a steading once it is closed, because he needs to take care of himself and finish that book for future generations. They say goodbye in a totally non-dramatic way, so I know they will absolutely 100% see each other again, and it's fine, okay? It's fine. The townspeople are ready by the walls. Instead of an inspirational speech, Perrin breaks into Weep for Manetheren, and the entire town sings along. And yes, I did get full-body chills both times I watched this. Here comes the army, Trollocs and humans. Two Rivers longbows fire and do some real damage, and Sen Bui couldn't be more proud. At the Waygate, Bane and Chiad are disgusted by the small amount of people here protecting it. But as someone calls for more reinforcements through the ways, they know they have to move now. Veils up! Loial with a fucking hammer. God damn, this is awesome. The Trolloc army is starting to break through the walls, and fighters on both sides are being felled by arrows. Maxim seems to send a message to Alana that she is needed now, and up on a mountainside she links with Daze and the Cothans to create an icicle storm, which the girls and I both agree is cooler than Moraine's lightning. The people of the Two Rivers celebrate, as it seems like the Trollocs are retreating, but Perrin doesn't think Trollocs would retreat. They must be being controlled. He realizes a second too late, as Alana takes a monster arrow through her midsection that topples Maxim back in town. Daze, who couldn't channel 4 hours ago, weaves a massive shield to allow Alana and the girls to get back inside the town safely, and takes a fatal arrow to the chest for her trouble. Pour one out for Daze. The Trollocs are back now that Alana is down, but Maxim gives the townspeople a slightly insulting speech about how they are too dumb to know when to give up, so they need to keep fighting, and they cheer in agreement. At the Waygate, to no one's surprise, Loial and the maidens have obliterated everyone. Loial tells them he has to go inside to permanently close it, and he needs them to watch his back while he's in there. No problem, they'd love to. Spirits are still low among Two Rivers management without Alana, but the Coffin girls are having trouble with that healing weave they did before. A horn blows and the gates are open, but it's not the Saldeans. Womp womp for me, it's the White Cloaks. Dain changed his mind. What a sweetheart. He says the pass was clear. What Trollocs? Just as Patton Fane and his White Cloaks bring up the rear. Well, they're inside the gates now, so it's Fane and his army turning on the other White Cloaks. Trollocs pour in now that the gates are undefended. Mass hysteria. The women's circle instructs Illa that now is the time to go, and the Tinkers and children take off. Meanwhile, in the ways, Loyal is trying to bring the gate down with his hammer and notices a never-ending line of torches heading toward him. Outside the Waygate, a few more Trollocs and Dark Friends show up and can't help noticing Bane and Chiad sitting amongst the carnage. Oh well, Veil's up again, I guess. I was never once worried about how this would turn out. The Tinkers make it to the woods, but they hear Trollocs coming through behind them. Aram does some sick rolls with a baby strapped to his chest, but when push comes to shove, he does what he needs to do and takes a blade to the Trolloc, killing it. I kind of feel like killing monsters shouldn't count, but what do I know? Illa is deeply disappointed. Perrin is stressed out about how many Two Rivers folk are dying, but Faile inspires him once again, and they take down Trollocs together, Perrin wielding hammer and axe. He kills so many people, and this time we all feel great about it. The townswomen especially are going full berserker mode, and Faile loves it. Eamon Valda stumbles across Alana and the girls, and Alana is on the brink of death. Valda asks the girls to step aside, but this dude tortured their mother to death, and he's going to get some poetic justice and burn, the way he's burned so many Aes Sedai. Alana cackles in glee. More fighting and a lot of death. Padden Fane locks eyes with Perrin as he slits a townswoman's throat. Perrin slices and bludgeons his way through the melee as Fane laughs, until he realizes Perrin is actually going to make it through and tries to take off. Too late, Perrin's on top of him, axe to his throat, while Faile screams to kill him. But Perrin wants to know why Fane has done this. Fane says the Darkhorn wants to wipe out the Two Rivers to hurt Rand, and soon thousands more Trollocs will be coming through the Waygate. Not yet, because Loyal is still hammering inside the ways. He doesn't seem to be making any headway. He makes a decision as he starts to hum. Loyal, the book-loving Ogier who loved being around heroes, is about to be one himself. He begins to hammer the ground underneath him. Faced with an onslaught of thousands, he screams, and with one final blow, the earth crumbles beneath him, and Waygate and Ogier tumble into the abyss. As Bane and Chiad fight outside, the Waygate explodes over them, and the blast can be seen from the Two Rivers. Perrin says, looks like the reinforcements aren't making it, and wants to know why Fane is the only one here who smells so afraid. Perrin makes a deal with him. If he calls off the army and runs far away, Perrin will let him live. Fane begrudgingly begins to yell in the guttural Trolloc language, and he and his army retreat. The Two Rivers folk and remaining White Cloaks let out a cheer, and Faile pulls Perrin down to her by his beard and kisses him. The next day, everyone is cleaning up. Alana's been healed, and she says she has bigger plans for the Cawthon girls than the tower. Aram seems to have been disowned from the Tuatha'an, which can't have been easy for Illa, having lost her daughter, husband, and now grandson, but what else is there? Marin offers Aram the blacksmith job if he wants to stay. Bane and Chiad have returned, of course, and Perrin notices that Loyal left his book behind, so he never had any intention of living through this. We hear Loyal's voice reading a snippet of it about Perrin becoming a leader as Dain and the White Cloaks ride into town. They helped, so Perrin has to hold up his end of their bargain. Faile will stab everyone's ass in this room to stop this from happening. But Perrin is an honorable man, and he's stopping the violence now to a proud Illa's relief. He allows the White Cloaks to handcuff and lead him away as Loyal's voiceover about him continues, and the townspeople hail Perrin Goldeneyes, the Lord of the Two Rivers.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
This will be an easy one to kind of go through in the sense of we don't have to jump around really. So
no.
I have a couple of things grouped together, but not really much.
I mean, there are three distinct parts, but it's all in the same general story. So
yeah. So this isn't really a cold open. This is another one of those. It's just the beginning of the episode type openings, which is fine. I think they wanted to get as much as they could of this story. I didn't get a chance to look this up, but I wanted to after I did my rewatch. But like when they're training in the beginning, it reminded me of a movie where they did something very similar. I mean, they've done this in a lot of other movies, but I feel like it was a movie where it was really like cheesy. And I want to say it was like something like Army of Darkness or something. Is there a part where like, I don't remember. Anyone?
God, I haven't seen Army of Darkness in like 30
anyone
years.
In Discord?
I can't imagine an Army of Darkness. He's like,
is he training
them?
Yeah, I think it's Army
maybe.
of Darkness.
Timeline? Is it Timeline?
Yeah, it's this is what this reminded me of.
Jesus.
No, it's not the movie Timeline, Tom. Wow. That was an awful movie.
I didn't even know that movie.
It's a Michael Crichton book.
Okay.
The book was pretty good. The movie was awful.
Like most Michael Crichton movies that aren't Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I guess you're right there. Anyway, yeah.
Congo's fun. Anyway.
Yeah, well that's wild. That movie's very different than the book. Like,
yeah, very.
Tim Curry's character in the movie does not exist.
Doesn't exist in the book. Yep.
Does not exist.
We're getting way off topic.
It's the Wheel of Time, guys.
Sorry. The Tinkers are back. Shen, Illa, and Aram, like you said, or Aram. Rain didn't make it. Yeah. You could tell Aram's a little agitated though.
Well, Aram was when last we saw Aram, he was contemplating splitting with Egwene and Perrin until they all got captured.
Yeah.
It's weird because they literally have, other than like Senbui, there's no older male figure in this season in the Two Rivers for Perrin. They got rid of every older otherly male figure that's in the book. All these people are in, right? So yeah, he's definitely in it. At
this point, you would think, right? Because like Perrin's family is gone. Tam and Abel are gone. And Bran. Sorry, Tam, Abel, and Bran are all gone. Yeah. So like at least 4 of the male, adult males are gone. Yeah. You would think after the whole thing settles with the White Cloaks that they might go try to find them. I don't know, but it doesn't matter because the actors aren't in the aren't
right. I know that's why, but it was a choice that they made to not have them there, and it was like it would have stepped on Perrin a little bit.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
But they're in the book, and it doesn't feel like they stepped on him in the book.
No, it's quite the opposite actually, because right in the books, and we're not spoiling because this is this stuff, right?
Happen. Yeah.
Tam, like Perrin looks to Tam for like guidance, and Tam's like, no, boy, you're leading us, like. You're the one. So Tam basically kind of takes on the role that Maxim does.
Yeah,
right?
I was just gonna say that. Maxim,
right? You know how Maxim's like, Maxim's like training the villagers and kind of helping like kind of organize them, and that's actually what Tam does in the books. But he is very much like, no, Perrin, you're leading us, and I'm following you. Which I feel like that makes it a little bit more impactful. That like Tam, who's like a blade master and a seasoned soldier, is like, no, you're in charge, buddy. I'm following you. But whatever. I just thought it was strange that Rain also wasn't. I was like, they're just like killing,
getting rid of all the men.
There's the Alcine boy's dad. He's still there.
He's not even in this. Is he in this episode?
Yeah, he gets one shot.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's just a decision where like we don't want to bring more actors back. That's really what it was.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's also different it's just one of those things that's different in a book than it is on screen, because if there's an older, even if Tam is there saying, no, Perrin, you're the leader, he's still an older male figure who we know to be a great warrior. Yeah. And therefore it's not entirely believable. Like Maxim is sort of in that same role, but Maxim is also inherently an outsider who does not want to be there.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And is actively, consistently is like, we should leave and we're going to lose.
I love that whole scene with him. We're going to die here. And then, but he's embraced it. It seems like it at this point. Yeah. He seems to be a little bit different. And I mean, you'll see that in this whole episode, right? You even talk about like him and Alana kind of find themselves again in a new way. But I think Maxim's turned a corner here, and he's
he's very Han Solo in Return of the Jedi. This isn't going to work. Yeah. We're all going to die. We're all going to get captured and killed, but okay.
All right.
This is what we're doing.
Gonna do?
Yeah.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah. I like how they quoted, they re-quoted the, we bury our dead and go on, the Tinkers, right? Illa says that. If you notice, go ahead, Tom, sorry.
No, I just, I really enjoy the, like that you kind of get to see this resonance of like, the story that Rand lived through in episode 4 kind of getting repeated here. Like,
yeah.
Again, it's a wheel of time.
Yeah.
It turns around, and like you get to see another instance of something similar happening, and the same kind of unfortunately the same kind of reaction to Aram.
And also like Bane and Shiad, who we like and respect, are still just like, they have no clue what's going on. They're like, this is just what everybody just thinks. It's fine.
Yeah, that disgusting,
we hate them, and
right?
they're disgusting and dishonorable and all this stuff. And it's just like,
and knowing now that they're it's I like all this. I like all the cyclical stuff from this with episode 4. But I also like during those Tinker scenes, they cut to Faile often, and you could tell she's like, she doesn't like what they're selling.
Yeah.
No.
Her father being a general, her both of her parents being generals and all.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah. But I like that the Tinkers came back, and Perrin kind of continues to grapple with that, but it seems like he finds a balance by the end of the episode of like, I think he understands that sometimes you have to fight, but only if you have to. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a time for fighting, and there's a time to. You don't have to continue to fight always.
The song turn, right? That's like this.
Right.
I was thinking there's a time for love and a time for living.
That's
Take a chance and face the wind.
Is that Family Ties?
I don't even know. Brand New Life, Around the Bend? Brand New Life. What is that?
Around the Bend.
No.
Who's the boss?
Who's no.
There's a path
It's not Family
a path not taken.
Yes, it is Who's the Boss.
That's Who's the Boss.
Talk about every TV show and movie other than the today. I also I get that that's the lesson Perrin learned, but also that's what you've been doing the whole time, man. You've been fighting sometimes and then not fighting sometimes, and that's
but I do feel like.
I feel like he's accepted it though at this, right?
Yes, like he's been struggling with this balance, right? Like, and again, talking about like things coming back or whatever, right? In season 1, his conflict with Pat and Faine, there was an axe there and he didn't take it. And in this episode, we're jumping to the end, right? There's an axe there and he has it, and he chooses not to use it. And he chooses not to use it again, like he has the conversation with Ingtar in season 2, right? About how all he wants to do is find Faine and kill him. And Ingtar's like, you might want to ask him why he did it. And he goes, no, I just want to kill him. Right. And that's what he asks him. Right. And so like, you can see like actively for the first time, I think instead of struggling with all of this, he's synthesizing all these different viewpoints into like, what is his take on like the philosophy of violence in the world. I don't know. I think this episode did a really, really good job in taking all these different threads and things and like finding ways to kind of tie them together. Yeah.
And to be what you just said there, Tom, I didn't realize that until Grace had posted it on social media, and I was like, oh shit, that's right. I was like, now this makes more sense, because I kind of was. When that happened, and it's funny because Faile's just, and we're jumping all over now. We're jumping right to the end. Faile's yelling, "Kill him!" like cheering him on to kill him, and then he stops, and I'm like, because I really thought that he was gonna kill Pat and Faine there.
Yeah, it seemed the obvious thing to do.
Yeah, but if he killed him,
right,
they would have all died, pretty much.
Yeah.
Some of them would have made it.
Yeah, I believe that to be true as well. But But yeah, and the fact that it's calling back to that scene with Ingtar, I thought was just amazing.
Almost like Ingtar was important.
Yeah, they actually they salvaged it, right?
Yeah. Still haven't seen that scene 4 years later that they cut, but it's okay. We don't need to. It's good.
So, Jen,
anyway,
I noticed in your recap you said Days Congar, and that's what I think most people say it, but I'm pretty sure Perrin says Daisy in the episode.
Really? Where?
Yeah. It's, I think, around the time she gets speared, like right before she dies, when they go back to see
Daisy
what's going on. Yeah.
Well, how is it spelled?
Daise. I mean, some people pronounce the last E of their names in these books, some don't. Like it's Faile, it's not Faile, even though we want it to be. It's like Leon. Well, it's Leone. It is Leone, but it's not Deazi. Dease. I don't know. I've always said Days Congar.
Yeah, or we'll stick with the Days. That's someone said it in chat. Like that's just like his mini Min. You know.
Yeah. That's what I call my. That's what I call my cat. Mini Min.
He got it from you.
Yeah. So when the wolf banner goes up, that made me think that we were going to get some wolves in this episode. We didn't.
No.
Which I believe.
Oh, I didn't even think about wolves.
I thought about wolves, and then I was corrected that the wolves don't show up in the books for this. And we did see the White Cloaks, right, had a bunch of wolf heads on spikes, so they probably killed the wolves in this area, maybe the Trollocs as well. But I had a little hope that maybe we'd get a couple of wolves, or like a wolf or two show up in like the key moment to like save somebody. But I guess that already happened in season 2.
When they put the wolf banner up, I forget if it was Faile or somebody else said something about how Trollocs are scared of wolves.
Faile.
And that I had to pause the show for a minute and just think, why? Trollocs are giant monsters.
I don't.
What about wolf Trollocs?
Just to be clear, I don't think that they are. I think she wanted them to put a wolf head banner up for him, and so she told people, "Oh, they're afraid of wolves. Put a wolf head banner." She said she told people that Trollocs are afraid of wolves.
No goddamn sense.
They're
at all.
They're rubes, Brendan.
They're the common clay of the New West. I understand.
So she tricked them.
Yes, she tricked them.
There's my manipulation.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Some of them are wolves. Haven't you seen them?
Godzilla's coming here, an iguana. Like, what the fuck? Like,
well, they're in packs, the wolves, right? They coordinated attacks. I don't know. Yeah, I guess she was lying just to get the wolf head banner up there.
Yes. I think she's angling for him.
Yeah.
That makes it a little better, but not that. It just makes it sort of confusing and annoying in a different way.
I got you. I hear what you're saying. She does say like, I told them that, like, and that's why I feel like it's definitely like there. And I like how the episode kind of, like, the first time you hear someone call him like Lord Perrin or whatever, they're like kind of making fun of him a little bit. And then like by halfway through the episode, they're just like, oh, hey, Lord Perrin.
Right.
What's up?
Yeah, the Alcine boys, right?
Yeah.
When he's telling them up there, sharpening their swords, getting ready for the battle, and he's like, "Don't call me Lord Perrin," and he's like, "Okay, Lord Golden Eyes." That was fun. This scene, anytime.
We have a question.
What scene? What scene? We have not gone scene by scene. Okay.
Matt Hatch, who wants to know if you've talked about the unrealistic distance between the village and the mountain pass.
No, I have no problem with any distances with anything. This isn't the camp from season 1.
We're only 35 minutes in, Matt. It's going to be a long night. Settle in.
There was a scene though where, like, right before the Trollocs came, they were just like, there were no Trollocs, and then like they're like, oh, the Trollocs are here, and they're like 20 feet away, I was like, it's like
you can't
also, like,
see.
when-
They're in the mountains.
no, they're just coming down the road.
When they're establishing the setting of the mountain pass, they have like the one fence of spikes, and then there's a gap, and then there's another fence of spikes, and it's like an overhead tracking shot.
Mm-hmm.
And the initial fence that they have to get through to get to the second fence just stops, and there's like a ton of open space.
Oh yeah.
to the right of it. So the Trollocs could have just like gone around, and that was for me. That's the camp. That's the camp in the tents.
They didn't have a lot of time.
Well, I think a lot of those. So I think those are just to kind of prevent them from being able to like charge or like, I guess, form up in a formation. They just have to like kind of move around them. It's meant to slow them down, I think, not necessarily to stop them. But they didn't.
They just went right at it instead of, and I understand they're like dumb monsters, but.
They are.
Right. Well, I think you're right. And I think, Perrin makes a comment about exactly that. Like, hey, they're not fighting the way Trollocs normally fight. Like,
right.
They're thinking there's a hole in the fence. Let's go to that, which is instead of like the meat's behind the fence. I do wonder, and I'm not like obviously I'm not any kind of like battle-y kind of guy, but like,
really,
if you've got a choke point, right? People are coming down, like people are running down a path, and the path is partially obscured, partially blocked. Everyone's going to funnel into the part that's not blocked, and that's going to be easier to kill those people there. So it is possible that that's actually strategic, trying to take the wide road and making it narrower so that they can just pound that with arrows.
Yeah, or
I think
Alana
they just ran out of fence.
Yeah, or Alana, hitting them with whatever fireballs or lightning,
like
whatever, like
concentrated area.
Yeah, more. Yeah, I agree. So I did want to go to the scene with Perrin and Dain, and I feel like every scene we get with the two of them is just amazing in the fact that every conversation is just like, yeah, I hate you. You killed my dad. Don't you remember? It's just like every time they have a scene together.
There's a bit in their first meeting. They have the exchange of like, well, you killed my dad, and Perrin's like, yes, I know, and I didn't mean to, and I'm sorry, but you killed Natty, and Dane's like, well, she was a witch, and Perrin's response is, no, she wasn't. Which true, but also not wholly the point. Like,
right.
Wasn't even if she was, you still killed her, right? And like, you should, and like, I cannot, I think, dispassionately speak about Dain. He's so good. This guy's awesome, and he's like you're right. Every scene, he's just like, how could you even talk to me? Like, how do you even say words? You killed my dad, you son of a bitch.
But the best part is that Perrin is like, he's like, oh, you think I'm a dark friend? You want me to be a dark friend so you can hate me? And he's like, I don't need you to be a dark friend. You killed my dad. Like, I don't need that. Like, what are you talking about?
I get it, Dain. I really do. But also, your father was a professional soldier in a battle. Right. Like he knew, he bought his ticket. He knew what he was getting into. I say let him crash.
Yeah.
They were fighting. They were supposedly on the same side.
I think that's the other thing. Yeah, that's.
I'm not saying.
Like, he was like, "Hey, buddy, remember when we just fought each other with the." Even though like last time they saw each other before that, they weren't on the same side. So
those two,
Perrin stopped them from getting killed, right?
Like they're so unreasonably hard on each other, and Perrin does it too, because like they show up and Paddon Fane's there, and Paddon Fane, and kudos to the show for not drawing this out. Paddon Fane just immediately turns on.
Well, Perrin knows who he is.
No, exactly. Yeah, but like, there was no bullshit about like, oh, Paddon Fane's sneaking around, and they think. But anyway, like So Paden Fane turns on them, and the Trollocs come in, and Perrin and Dain cannot stop fucking sniping at each other. Like, I didn't know. You should have.
You should have.
That broke my heart when he was like, I didn't know. I felt bad for him in that moment. Like, and he's like, what did I just do? You know,
they're so insanely hard on each other that like they at some point in Knock on Wood season 4, they have to win the tag team championships together. Like they just they're inevitably going to be like end up teaming up.
Yeah,
at some point.
Maybe they'll be. I want to see him. I want to see Perrin, Dain, and Faile go up, like have a spin-off show, just the three of them.
Yeah.
Just killing stuff.
Yeah, they just go around and they argue with each other and help people in various ways. A former White Cloak, a wolf brother, and a Saldean vampire.
You are really hung up on this vampire.
No, I know. I'm joking.
Can we
I can see it.
Can we quickly talk about why Luke was necessary in the show at all?
I do want to talk about that, but later.
Okay, fine. I don't know. I didn't know if we needed to, because it doesn't seem like he seems absolutely useless.
Luke's a character that's more in this storyline in the books, and like we thought it was just like, we're just gonna mention his name as a throwaway to fans, and then he came back this episode, but like he doesn't say anything
or do anything really.
No,
he's not even really on camera that much. Like he's in the background when Dain shows up.
But
Dain and his horse with an awesome mask.
Yeah.
Brett, I think you hit on something. I don't know if it was intentional or just for comedic sake, but like I do think that part of the reason why they're so hard on each other is that they both like their initial impression of each other were, this is a good person.
Oh, sure.
And like they just can't understand how like they don't think that they were wrong in that initial impression, and that's why like the way that this has gone has been I think so painful, as well as whatever personal wounds were done. But again, I understand that they had some sort of spiritual connection, but like Jeffrey Bornhold killed Perrin's dog, so he murdered him, and like there's levels.
Yeah, I saw some John Wick references in chat.
Yes, very very much so. So I'm gonna tease something, right? We did an interview with Marcus. That's gonna drop. That probably is dropped by the time this episode airs, but like it's gonna drop in the next couple of days after we're recording it. And he talks about something that in that interview that I think you see very well in this episode. And this is the first, maybe not the first time. This is one of the first times that he does it. I think it's actually the second time. But like Brendan, you've made references in the previous seasons that like, here's Perrin, the person who introduces us to other cultures, right?
Yes.
And like he seems to have used that knowledge because he talks to everybody in a way that like, this is what this person needs to hear to get them to do what I need them to do, whatever that is. And he talks to the Tuathalan about like, like when this may be the season of falling leaves, but that only makes people long for the leaf to grow again, whatever, to like kind of calm them down about, maybe I have an axe, but like it's going to lead to people wanting peace. And then he says to Dain here, like, look, I understand what you want. I will give it to you if you help us. Right. And I think he does that continuously throughout this episode. I thought it was a very interesting way of being a leader without like speechifying.
Yeah, Perrin offers to turn himself into Dain if they come and help him, and Dain's basically like, well, you're probably lying to me, or I don't believe you, so I'm not gonna waste soldiers' lives. Well, wait, what's that line, Jen? He says, we'll come and finish you off if the
Trollocs don't finish you, we will.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
But he throws it over his shoulder as he's walking away too. It's like an under the breath mumble.
Yeah.
But he heard it.
Not that I'm not saying I wanted to see this argument made in the show itself, but there is an argument to be made that that agreement was not actually valid.
Yeah,
because Perrin says, if you come help us after, if we survive, I'll go with you. And Dain outright tells him no.
Right.
And then he comes anyway.
Yeah.
But that's a different thing. It's a whole new set of terms.
Yeah. Again,
I'm not saying I wanted them to get I didn't want it to turn into a courtroom drama. I mean, maybe it will, but
that's actually next season, Brendan, the trial. Matt actually defends Perrin. Spoiler alert. No, doesn't really happen.
Does not happen.
No, I wouldn't think so.
So we get this.
I don't think Matt and Perrin. Well, anyway, it's a different discussion.
So we get Alana and Maxim, this scene where we get a little bit of closure on what the struggles that they've been going through the season, with Maxim dying. I'm sorry, with Ivan dying. I like this scene. I guess because I always like when things come to a resolution and we don't have to necessarily, not that we don't have to deal with it anymore or watch it anymore, but it's just better. It's better when the two of them are clicking, as we see in this episode. So I thought that was a nice little scene where they kind of were like, what does he say? He says, no, we're going to build something new or start something new.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice.
After she calls him a bitch.
Yes.
Which I thought was hilarious.
You bitch. Well, I
feel like that's something she probably called him in real life and they just used it.
Yeah, I feel like that was an improv line. I feel like you bitch isn't in the actual...
There's another time where, and it's in the captions, I don't know if it's true or not, but Faile says, guys, come over here. And I'm like, that seems like a weird thing to say.
I made a note of that too. I don't think that's what she said. I have that in my notes.
Yeah, like, what?
Because I thought the same thing. I'm like, what?
Here, guys.
Guys. And it didn't sound
my
like...
dudes. My dudes, please.
And also because it didn't sound anything like she said the word guys. That was the other...
I don't know. I just noticed it. I was like, really? Yeah. That's what she said?
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah. So.
Speaking of Faile, she's not afraid. She's not a baby.
I enjoyed this conversation quite a bit.
I enjoyed that even Perrin is sick of hearing about Layla.
Yeah, she really gets to him and provokes him about bringing up his wife. And then he tried to white fang her, didn't he, for a second there?
Yeah,
that didn't work though.
Too far.
Yeah. But she seems to know how to push his buttons in just the right way.
Yeah, she does.
Easy. There it is.
Strike there. Come on.
She does it a few different times in this episode and in different ways. Like it's not always the same tactics she uses. So,
because she's great at everything.
Yeah, because she's great at everything.
Even being annoying.
Arguably, especially that.
Do we want to just jump right into? Well, actually,
talking for half an hour.
No, I was gonna say, you want to just get into Loyal and everything that goes on with Loyal?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, first of all, I love the Maiden's Kiss thing because it got me 100%. I walk like that scene starting up. I'm like, oh, okay, he's been interested the whole time. I guess this is like.
Well, I thought he thinks he's gonna die, so he's like, I might as well.
I might as well kiss.
This made me extremely uncomfortable.
Every part of that bit, like every part of that whole sequence of events, how do I put this? Like, I was 100% on board with everything that was happening the whole time. Like, I didn't think there were any ulterior motives. I was just like, oh, okay, he wants to do it. Like, oh no, he's tricking them. Oh, it's gonna work. Oh, and then they totally got me.
I felt the same way. Yes. I was like, oh.
Dain wound up getting him. It was. So here's why it was awkward at first for me, because when he kept pulling back, I thought it was because he was like shy and he had never kissed another person like a female before. And it felt awkward to me at that point. Obviously, when I find out what he's doing, I'm like, oh, okay, thank God, because this was really weird that he kept kind of pulling back from them. But
I think that's what he wants them to think.
Yeah, he fooled me. He's a good actor, so
yeah,
he is.
Hamed and Loyal, both good actors.
Yes, I was going to say. But also like his and I've said this before, that like people in a story don't know they're in a story. But Loyal's plan was so obviously a suicide run that at the end, when Perrin was surprised that he left his book, I was like, really? But, you know.
Well, like, Perrin's thinking so much like, well, I'm going to die. That's why
true.
we're having this emotional goodbye.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Perrin just had
like, why are you saying all of Loyal's names if he's going to be fine?
Because Perrin just had the speech about like, we'll hold him at the mountain pass, and when that doesn't work, we'll hold him at the gates, and when that doesn't work, we'll hold him at the wine spring, and then all right, everybody, to your boats. Like,
well,
right?
he asked the Tinkers to take the children, right? If that happens,
right? Like the expectation in Perrin's mind is like, there's no chance to win.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So yeah, but I think. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, did you notice? I noticed it on my second watch during that whole conversation when they're talking about the plan, and he asks the Tinkers, and Loyal's like, I'm going to go, I need to close the Waygate. And he's like, no, Bane and Chiad are like the ones going to come with him. When Loyal walks out, they cut to Perrin, and Perrin turns and looks at him and has a weird face on, like something's wrong. I think he smells like something on Loyal that's like he's not expecting, or some sort of hint that Loyal doesn't think he's going to be coming back. Because if you watch it, there's a clear shot of Perrin kind of like turning, looking back at Loyal and making a very strange face.
I mean, I think to Tom's point, I think one way or another, Perrin does not expect to see Loyal again.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think that's all that was. But I would have to watch it again. No, Perrin, he either smells or senses something unexpected.
I think you're right there. And I think it could be honestly like, because Perrin does Loyal does something after he's like, all right, I need to destroy it from the inside. You two stay here and watch my back. From what? The bad guys are coming from inside.
I thought like, meant if they were coming in.
No, yeah, he did. He did mean that, but he didn't mean that. He's like, I know I'm going in there to die. You two stay out here. So it could be. He could also be smelling the fact that like Loyal's not being honest with them somehow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's something he smells that something's up with Loyal.
Yeah. Because he doesn't intend for the two of them to die either.
This is dialing back a bit, but I do love that Loyal's plan to get Bane and Chiad out of danger relies on technical cultural knowledge that he thinks he can that he thinks he can exploit. It's 100%. I have read about this in a book.
Right.
Now I'm going to apply it in real life.
He's also been taking his notes on like watching them play with Matt and.
Yeah, that's true. I just mean more about like the concept of toe and
toe. Okay,
yeah. It's like, aha!
No, not the rules of Maiden's Kiss. Okay. No, I understand. He has practical knowledge of that. Practical, if secondhand, knowledge of that.
Yeah. When Perrin tells him to go home after he's closed the Waygate so we can live to tell the story, it's a totally different scene after you've watched it once. It's so much more like, it's just very sad to watch after you know what's happened already.
So just on the sadness part, even though we haven't gotten to that part of this, this is the first time this has happened in this series, and it's really a very rare thing for this to happen when I'm watching anything on television. But like when Loyal dies, like I had to pause the show. Because like at that point, like you knew once like a certain point of this, you're like, oh, I see, this is not going to go well. But like the fact that they did it, like I was like, oh man, and like they do it, and like it falls, and like there's like a brief second in your head where you're like, well, he's falling with the gate. Maybe
that's what
he
I was
can
thinking.
get through the gate, and then it'll be okay. Right, but then the gate
like
explodes.
Well,
he's falling on the gate. It's like Dr. Strangelove. He's just gonna ride it through.
He's gonna ride it through. Yeah, and then but then like. Yeah, on the outside, the gate just is gone. It's like, oh, okay, he's falling. He's got nothing. He's got nothing.
Yeah. Theoretically, he could have tried to go through the gate when he fell, which is, it's funny. When I first watched this and when he decides like, oh, I'm just going to smash the floor, I thought the bridge was going to fall, but the gate was just going to stay there and they wouldn't be able to get to it because the bridge is broken. So I was very surprised. I don't think he had control over that. I just thought that was the physical, like the physics of it.
You thought he was getting out of it. You thought like, oh, okay, he's gonna.
I didn't know, but I was just saying I wasn't expecting the waygate to fall. I was expecting the bridge to fall and the waygate to remain there.
Like, I was expecting the gate. I was expecting the gate to fall because this show has semi-frequently employed Looney Tunes physics. So like to the point where like it breaks and hangs there momentarily before dropping like a stone.
Yes.
And
it's a magical place.
I am not there. I am not complaining.
It's like
what he takes to the camera. Holds up a sign.
Yeah. He holds up the leaf.
Is he still falling, by the way?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he'll eventually hit something, but no, it's done.
You fall forever.
Tom, I do like that you had hope that he was still going to be okay as the gate was falling, even though from what I understand of the ways he was falling into hell.
Yeah,
like,
endless abyss of evil wind.
Eventually.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, right? Let's see.
But I was like, well, maybe he'll fall through the gate as it goes, right? But no. And like, again, he knew, like, I'm going to go into the ways and destroy this gate, like, which means I can't get out,
right?
Which means I'm going to die. So like that was his plan. It just
his plan was to smash the gate from the inside. So the gate can only be like, I don't understand what his plan was. His plan was to smash the gate. Why didn't he just try to smash it on the outside? Because clearly whatever he was doing, he didn't really know if it was going to work or not. So it didn't seem like his attempt was based on any actual knowledge of how to destroy a waygate.
Because it's not a gate like the gate in your backyard. It's a magic portal. Like he's not going to stand outside and whack at it. But while the Trollocs are coming through on the other side.
He stood inside and whacked at it while the Trollocs were coming through.
I think like Brendan.
If he was standing there just whacking at it with a hammer, they could have still come through. He had to go to the other side to destroy, like,
and I think if he breaks the outside, then the gate might be broken in this world, but it still is working and alive in the ways, right?
Okay, but I
think no, they probably could. It could probably still open. You just can't open it from this side, right? But it will still open from the ways. Because that part's still open.
So basically you're saying like breaking it on the inside versus breaking it on the outside are two totally different effects.
Yes. I think that's what he knows. He doesn't know how to do it,
but he knows
the only way to...
Because he's trying to smash it with a hammer and he doesn't...
I think he knows... Well, I don't think he knows how to do it, but I think he knows the only way to truly destroy it is from inside the ways.
Okay.
Like, and so, yeah.
But either way, he knows he's not coming back because once he destroys the gate, the Trollocs are going to kill him.
Right.
Yes.
If it works the way he thought it was going to work.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you there. It was just weird that his plan was to smash it on the inside and he didn't even put a dent in it. So, a question, because they played the Hero of the Horn music while Loyal was dying, is he a Hero of the Horn now?
Not everybody
Capital
can be
H.
a Hero of the Horn.
Well, they played the music though, Jen. They played the song.
I think, hey, look, I think if the show makes it to a season where Heroes of the Horn could be coming back, you can have a lot of characters who, welcome back everybody who didn't, who died in seasons. Let's do it.
Randall,
I mean,
Thorne,
Uno got to be a hero of the Horn, and Uno got to be a hero of the Horn, and he died mouthing off.
No, but
it's true.
Is it
Go ahead.
Yeah,
you were going to say that's.
I don't know.
If he's a hero, then Loyal should be a hero. Is what you're saying?
I'm going to say something, and you guys can finish it if I'm not spoiling. Uno didn't become a hero of the Horn
in the books.
No, in the even in the show, right?
You're saying, yeah. I think it's implied. Okay, that's.
I don't think this is a spoiler, right?
It's not addressed in the show. It's addressed. I think he addressed it in interviews, and it was addressed in interviews outside of the show, but it's not addressed in the show proper, one way or the other. Whether Uno became a hero of the Horn or he was a hero of the Horn. Right? Was
already a hero.
It doesn't. The show doesn't tell you.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Okay.
He's a reborn hero.
Yeah, because he was a hero the heroes of the Horn. Any soul
already was a hero.
He's not a new hero. He wasn't just initiated into the gang.
Right. I mean, they could just say hey, there was an Ogier hero.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
you
don't have to be an Ogier, though. I think you could, if you were an Ogier, you could. Why couldn't you reincarnate into a human?
I don't
know. That's an interesting one. That's a question for another podcast episode, I think.
Feels racist.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be talking about this until we get an Ogier on the show.
Sure.
Shut up, Tom.
No, you know what? No.
Nope.
I will say this. I've mentioned on the show before many times that I've always Loyal's been always one of my favorite characters because of the fact of how much he reminds me of you, my best friend. And so that is one of the reasons I think that his death in this episode hit me so hard. So yeah.
You close your own fucking gate, man. You're on your own.
Thanks, buddy.
Brendan's not closing any gates for you. Before we get into the real the battle, there was a couple of there was one other scene I wanted to talk about just really quick because I thought it was so funny when Perrin
has been all over the place.
I know we've been all over the place. I'm trying to wrap up.
It's on a hot skillet, man.
I'm trying to wrap up this part before the fighting starts. All of the fighting starts, but the scene with Perrin and Matt's sisters where he shows them the picture of Matt and the horn, and I love how they made fun of the horn just because we all make fun of what the horn looks like.
I love what the horn looks like.
Really?
Oh yeah. I had people yell at me on Twitter for saying I liked how the strangers complaining.
That's true.
Wait, what? Strangers on Twitter complaining?
Yeah, because
unheard of.
Sorry, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, you made some comment. And people were, I don't know.
It looks like a sheep's bladder.
It looks like a flower pot from Star Trek. It's amazing. I love it.
That's what it would have been funny if they said that, but I guess that doesn't make any sense. But then they can't say the great jokes like sheep tutor and bladder blower.
Oh yeah, it was great. As Jen notes, it's the most real. It's the absolute most real sibling behavior possible.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a sheep tutor. A sheep tutor sounds like something totally different, though.
I think exactly why they're calling him that.
Yeah, that's the point.
Oh, you think they? Okay.
No, not like you fuck one goat, like the joke. I think that they're just saying, they're using an opportunity to make fun of their brother, right?
Yeah.
Which is good, and I feel like that it's good to see that they have the same kind of sense of humor that he does. Which is,
especially since their mom was just burned alive.
Hey, look. You gotta
How do we know she was alive when she was burned? We don't know that.
Well, we saw
his modus operandi, yeah, right?
We saw him burn somebody alive already.
For sure.
Yeah.
That scene, that scene where he's showing them the portrait, it involves one of the show's trademark hiding a whole lot in a cut, because the last time we saw Perrin and Faile, they were fighting, and now they're just fine showing the portrait to the girls.
Oh, you're right, because the scene
it's not like a big deal because obviously they were going to make up, but still.
Wow. that's good point, Brendan. I guess they, because you're right. The last thing is when they have that conversation and she mentions his wife, and they Perrin kind of yells and tries to white fang her.
It ends with like one of those dead silences where everyone's like absorbing what just happened. It wasn't like they were actively yelling at each other.
Yeah,
right.
I guess that's true, but still.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, I just was like, oh, they were fighting and Faile won.
Yeah.
Like she's like, and then the fight's over.
That's
yeah.
But before we get to, I guess right before the fighting starts, right, is the Manetheren.
Call back to the
cries.
Manetheren song.
And like, I love that the whole scene. He rides up, right? He can sense that people are like really nervous. He tries to like, your blades look good. Like he's trying to like give people like individual words of encouragement. He orders them to like close the gate up, and he can sense like they need something. And he's like, I am not giving a speech right now.
This is the time.
That is not a Perrin skill.
This is the time where the speech would come in play, but no.
And then I didn't see it. I should have seen it coming. I didn't see it coming, and like that worked so well, to me at least. I thought that worked really, really well.
It was awesome because of something I was thinking about and something I'm going to be working on. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they did this. This is perfect. But yeah, it fits in really well. I really like everybody jumping in and then they're like banging the shields, and it was really good. And then, I mean, they call back to this later in the episode when Loyal dies. He hums it right before he starts to smash the bridge.
Oh, that's what he's humming?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first wave of Dark Friends and Trollocs is pretty quick. Right, Alana does that ice storm and basically stops it. It was pretty quick and easy. We all knew that wasn't going to be that easy.
It's almost like they were sacrificing the front lines to try to draw her out. And then once they found where she was, it is like that. I'm just thinking about it for the first time now, really. Like, and then once they got her, they knew they could just do whatever they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, but she wasn't even, they didn't even get her where she was doing the ice storms, right? They get her when she's back down in the village.
Yeah, but they know where I got them.
They know where she is.
They followed her,
yeah.
And so we'll talk about this a little bit more later, but like this is what happens in all that section is something that happens in the books in a different way in this book. No. But like, like I think you're spot on. Like this is like, trying to draw the enemy's fire so you can see where their sharpshooters are perched or whatever.
Also, I'm sorry, this is going to bother me. That was hail, not icicles.
You sure?
Yes.
Well, they weren't like little blocks of hail. They were like shards of ice.
Like ice shards.
I mean, it was big hail.
Hail's like
what's the difference between a hail and a long piece of hail and an icicle?
Well, an icicle is hanging off.
It has to be hanging off something to be considered an icicle.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
So,
I don't want to get into this
one. It comes from the clouds. It's hail.
Right. I would say she created an ice storm, and like we can just. It's not a natural phenomenon. They're not. They're not.
It's Haile. Thank you, Gabe said it first. Haile.
Well, you know what's interesting about this? Earlier in the episode, when they're talking about how many Trollocs there are, like, Perrin says, like, do we need to change the plan? And Alana says, it doesn't matter if it's 100 or 1,000, they're still going to burn. And then curiously, she does an ice storm instead of actually, like, she says the word like they're going to burn, as if she was going to, hit them with fireballs or something.
Yeah. She almost burns too. She's pulling too much, it looks like. She's getting that like burnout effect on her.
Oh yeah.
I think they're just going to use, they're overusing that burnout effect on all of them.
I do think it was fun, and I understand that she explained this to them in the beginning, like in the training sequence that they weren't actually going to be fighting, but to the girls and to Daisy, but Like it is funny that they went all this way to find channelers, and so she could use them as batteries.
Yeah.
Right. It's Ego's plan.
Yeah.
It's basically what happens. But the good thing is that Alana knows how to link, so she doesn't kill them.
Yes.
Yeah, they're fine. She's the one that, and she's actually fine too. It's just,
I mean, it's an unrelated thing that she's not fine from.
Yeah.
Well,
Right,
yeah,
right.
but it's
Poor Alana. She's just getting impaled left and right this season.
She really is.
And
Did
then,
anybody else think it was weird that happened and Maxim felt it, but then didn't like immediately go to her?
Oh,
I think he knows that. I'm guessing that they had already made these arrangements in the beginning. Like, you need to stay up there with them to like help lead the soldiers or the villagers. Like, if something happens to me, you gotta just keep. We gotta keep to the plan.
Keep on keeping on.
I just thought it was weird that he was like, "Oh, she's down," and didn't even like go to see if she was okay. Like, his whole job is that.
Yeah, but I think there was kind of. I think they discussed this beforehand.
Okay.
Because of the situation.
And then he gets to give his little
yeah, he gives a great speech.
I feel it's a really cool, like, look, you know, they're smarter than you, they're faster than you, right? Whatever. But like, I love that. Like,
oh, the best part is the dark friend. Right, they have their shields up, and this one dark friend comes, like, jumps up on the shield, like, and she's about to leap over the fence or whatever you want to call it. And she just gets shot with an arrow before she gets to complete her move.
That's it.
Oh, I love that part. That was great.
Can we talk about Days?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Days
gets
it. Yeah, Days got. We actually, we passed that.
Days
gets
shield that was like as big as the one Egwene cast last season or weaved.
Oh, I didn't even notice. It was big.
It was big, but it also wasn't. It wasn't like complete. It was like big, and there was like holes all over it. Like, it looked like she was struggling to like.
It did look blotchy.
Yeah.
I didn't know
like she was struggling to do it.
Yeah, I know. I just thought that was weird because she literally
it did fall apart very quickly.
At this point, it's almost like at this point it's pretty much canonical, at least for the show, that channelers from the Two Rivers are just better, or at least have more raw power than, I guess, your average channeler.
Mm. Yeah.
So. I mean, not to belabor the joke from season 2 about Nynaeve, and Egwene is very powerful. And
Elaine,
Rand,
right, Rand. Yeah, I mean,
he's from there.
No, Elaine. Joe said.
No, I'm saying she's very powerful too.
Oh, yeah.
But you're right. I mean, like literally, like textually, that's why Alana's there. It's like this is the cream of the crop. Let's get them.
Yeah. It's a vein of gold. Yeah. So they go back to we cut back to the Waygate, but we already talked about that. Bane and Chia just killing everybody basically there.
Can we just a couple of things. One, the three of them charging into battle was as cool as fucking hell. It felt like an Avengers movie for a second.
That was my favorite scene in the teaser or whatever it was, the trailer. I was like, this is the shot that I love. And I got to see that. That was really cool.
We really gloss over, but there's a slow motion scene where Loyal throws a guy into the air and then hits him into the gate like he's swinging a baseball bat. It was pretty great.
And Bane and Chia are just uncontrollably awesome. This entire built set up to it, like the dismissiveness of all these people, the way they just plow through.
When the second wave comes and they have to get up off the steps again, it's almost like if it was any other character, you'd be worried at this point. But I'm just like, oh, all right. Well, no, they got it. It's fine.
Even more so is that like they're sitting there sitting on the steps of the Waygate, and the enemies are coming in, and they're just sitting there, and they're taking their sweet ass time. Like, we'll get up when we're ready to fight them, kind of scenario, or they're just like watching them come in, and then like they're like 5 feet in front of them, and they're like, okay, now we're gonna get up and kill them.
Yeah.
And they're just covered in like blood and
Yeah. Oh, that's so
oh,
cool.
so awesome. I'm gonna tell you this. It was pretty hot.
I will say there was a point when like when Loyal's on the inside banging on it, and they're just surrounded, and like they get thrown to. Honestly, this is how they survive, because they get thrown to the ground. They're both on the ground, like getting dog piled.
Oh yeah,
and then the explosion, like
they're below the explosion. Yeah.
But like I did think like, oh, they're all getting killed.
Yeah,
like
I thought they were dead too.
Really?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought this was going to be like a total party kill. Like, we're going on a side quest. No,
Party wipe. Yep, you should have stuck together. You know what happens when the party splits up.
Don't split the party.
Yeah, they double split the party, so it was bound to happen. I
mean, when you put it that way, losing only one PC is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they did well, and then clearly like.
And it was only the bard.
And then they're like, there's this new NPC, and like they offer him a main role at the end of the series. Like, it's like hey, you can play this guy if you want. You don't even have to make a new character shit. I already got his stats here.
The girls are right a lot. So Alana gets speared or giant arrowed. I'm not even sure what that was in her. I thought it was an arrow, but it might have been a spear. It was pretty damn big.
It was just like a really big Trolloc arrow.
Spear, giant arrow is a distinction without a difference.
A spear is nothing but a giant arrow.
I like that, Brendan. I like that phrase.
Yeah. The girls, right? The Cawthon girls can't heal her. It's not looking good. Their whole plan revolved around basically Alana being able to channel. So things are not looking well. But then, oh, look, the White Cloaks come. Dain has a change of heart. He wants to come help, but oops, as you said,
Dain Bornhold, our hero, says, even though I hate this man, I know what the right thing to do is.
Yes.
I'm going to lead my soldiers in to save these people.
All of them, even the new ones that just came.
Even the new ones who I'm not so sure about.
My dad, the best White Cloak, he went to save Faile when no one did. I'm going to do the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. But he lets in Paddon Fain and his crew of
he didn't know.
Black Cloaks.
I told my men to fix it. Like
it's a trap.
So
we're jumping. That's two different movies.
Yeah, it's all of it. It's all of it.
We're putting it all in there. We're going into as many movies as we can. What else do we got here?
But you said it before, Brendan. But like, there's Paddon Fain. He's a dark friend. I didn't know. Well, you should have. Like,
yeah. He's like, you should have. Perrin again being unreasonable.
Again, it's totally. They're so unreasonably hard on each other.
Yes.
But it works.
Should have known.
I mean, he should have known.
I mean, they kind of.
But also, like, but I mean, again, there's no time to discuss this. Whether it's like Perrin knew Paddon Fain his whole life and didn't know.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought that was a little unfair when Perrin said you should have known. Like,
it's
okay, Perrin, you're putting this on him now.
I mean, tensions are high. I get it, but
yeah, things are high. But you know what? There's a great right when the attack starts up again with Fain and his group. Right, I first noticed that the Two Rivers folk have Molotov cocktails that they're throwing out there.
Yes,
but when there's this shot of the Trollocs charging and the Dark Friends charging, and there's this one Trolloc and there's another Trolloc in front of him, and he just pushes that Trolloc into the gate to try to just unabashedly, just like boom, throws another Trolloc running in front of him into the gate. It was hysterical.
Knock this down for me. That's the Trollocs that we know from the first season.
Yes.
Hey, buddy, are you okay?
Forgot about that Trolloc. Jen, here's where the Faile gives the command, and the caption says, "Guys, let's move."
Yeah, guys.
See, let's
move at 100 miles per hour.
Can we can we get the captioner from episode 4 to take care of this? Because this is not the same level of quality captioning.
That was good captioning.
So we've come to the point, right? This is time for the Tinkers to go take the kids out.
Time for Eowyn to lead the women and children out of Helm's Deep.
Yes. The tunnel that was supposed to go into the mountains doesn't really seem to go very far outside the town.
Into the forest.
Yeah, it just goes to the forest, like
right where the Trollocs are.
Where's Matt?
Yeah.
You want to hear me talk about distance? Like this tunnel seems like they went like 50 feet.
Oh man, I was like, he's in Tanchico.
Yeah,
what the fuck? He's not even in this episode.
No, not that Matt.
The other Matt.
So a Trolloc though was I guess lurking around there. Follows them.
I think he followed them through the. Do you think he went? I thought he followed them through the route, like through the tunnel.
No,
I think that this
sounds like he's like right behind them, though.
I think this is like a Trolloc, like the Trolloc from season 1, the first time they were
randomly running around.
There's just one Trolloc who's like, I'm gonna just hover around the town, like the houses outside, see if I see anybody to eat.
Well, maybe got lost or something, or went to take a piss and everybody left them, or.
It looks like so. The mountain passes in one direction, and like this is in a slightly different direction.
Here we go.
No. But like this, I assumed honestly, this is my whatever. The way I was just watching it, reading it, like this was a trial left over from whatever attacked Alana and the other channelers.
Yeah, because it's seen on that side. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So the Trolloc. So right there, the Tinkers are running. Aram's got the baby. He hides behind a tree, and of course, that stupid baby starts crying.
He's rolling over the baby.
He's tumbling all over the place with the baby.
No, he's like.
He's rolling to protect the baby. Yeah.
Yes.
And look, this is their plan. This is
I mean the baby gets another one eaten, right? Gets one of the Tinkers eaten.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot the one of my favorite little reactions, which is like you two Otho are the best at running, and the dirty looks that the IO give each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
About how we are the best at running.
Like a cough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the baby gives them away, but luckily there's another Tinker nearby for the Trolloc to eat instead of Aram and the baby. And then Aram
faster than the Trolloc.
Yeah,
that's right.
And so then Aram picks up the Trolloc sword or knife or whatever it was that it dropped and kills the Trolloc. And of course, Illa's right there to give him a disappointing look.
It's a monster.
Violence.
Here's my question, and I didn't have time today to go back to the previous 2 on episodes and check. Have we, to this point, seen anyone stick to the way of the leaf so far as to their own death?
No, but they get beaten up by the...
That's what I said. Have we seen it?
No, not on screen, but we do get in the first season, right? They get beat up. The White Cloaks start
get
pounding
roughed up.
Yeah, the White Cloaks
about the
start
guy that
pounding
the
on them.
Trolloc ate, like right in this.
I don't think he had a chance to decide.
He didn't have a chance. He was.
Yeah, I think in the flashbacks, that's probably it, right? Like,
but even then, we don't. Even then, we don't see it.
Yeah, you don't see it. You don't see someone just.
Well, no, he was choosing.
Again, he's not. He doesn't just accept it. He just gets killed. Like,
all of the there's the grandfather. What's his name?
Rand?
No.
Adar. No, that's from
Adar's from Rings of Power. Whatever his name is, right? It's him and this grandson, right? There's other people with him, and it looks like they had just gotten attacked, and a bunch of them are dead.
Yeah, but you don't see somebody just go kill me.
No.
Like, you don't see anyone just go like, all right, here, come on, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, they run. They'll run for sure. They have no problem running.
Right.
They don't like. It's not like they're not afraid of death. I guess it's just that they don't think that
rather live.
Right. They don't like. I forgot that they were also vegetarians. That they kill nothing. They don't kill animals. They don't. And so like, they won't even eat the food. And then Aram's like, oh, I'll pick out the meat bits.
Yeah.
You already tell he's on shaky ground.
Yeah.
Well, again, he was on shaky ground from day one when we saw him in season 1.
Mm-hmm. And again, we're calling back to episode 4.
Right.
Where we're seeing it happen once again because time is a flat circle. Yeah, I mean, I'd like. Well, this resolves itself in a sense where, right, Maren Alvier, right, Egwene's mom, invites him to stay in the Two Rivers, that he can be their new blacksmith.
Who was the blacksmith before?
Perrin.
No, like after Perrin left.
I don't know.
Nobody was living there. It was just empty.
I guess.
I mean, I don't know.
They haven't had a blacksmith.
No, I think there's. I mean, first of all, no, there has to be a blacksmith. The town literally can't survive without one. Yeah, so someone's doing it.
And I guess they died in the fight.
Yeah, or honestly, I think she's just kind of saying, like, you have skills that could be useful to us. Like, you can stay here with us.
Yeah.
Like, I think she's being kind more than, like, I happen to have a job opening.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been looking over your resume.
Murdering Trollocs.
Right.
There's my favorite
quadrupedal Trolloc. I'm sorry, I was just one last thing. That Trolloc who was chasing them was like on all fours the whole time, and that was very cool. I don't think we've seen that, or at least we haven't seen it that focused on that particular type of Trolloc or that particular method of movement.
But if it saw a real wolf, man, it would have ran the other way, I tell you.
We saw some Trollocs similar to that in the first season, but it was just like in running, right?
It was just
you
like
never
in
saw
the
it actually fight.
Scene,
yeah. That was definitely cool. I think is that the lion Trolloc, right? It kind of looks like a lion, or my favorite sequence happens next, right? There's like Faile gives like a great pep talk to Perrin, and he goes in and he's like, oh, stay behind me or whatever. And she's like, I'm not, no, whatever. He goes, no, I want you to kill anything I miss. And she looks at him. She's so hot right now.
She's like, I am going to fuck this guy so much when this battle is over.
She looks so turned on when he said, kill the ones I miss. I was like, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Give me more of this.
And he just, like, he's a machine.
He goes into berserker rage. He literally activates his berserker rage powers. He gets the hammer and the axe.
Oh, yeah.
And just goes,
I can fight two-handed now.
Two-weapon barbarian style. And then you get Faile in there too, jumping on things, and she's like doing little stabs.
In there,
she's on his back.
Yeah.
She reminded me of Kevin in Sin City with the way she was fighting, and Elijah Wood just only she wasn't eating people, but
yeah.
And then Dain's in there too. Like Dain, it's like the three of them, like all fighting, killing the shit out of Dark Friends and Trollocs. It was my favorite sequence in the whole episode for sure. Awesome, and then we even got Maren Alvier, right? She gets one Trolloc on the ground and she's just like stabbing the shit out of it. Oh, it was amazing.
That's right.
I loved it. And then we get.
We get Valda, right?
Guys,
there we go.
Guys, I'm sad a little bit.
I am sad.
Not because he didn't deserve it. Not because it wasn't like warranted. Whatever. That's the same thing twice. But I just like this actor, and the character always. It's fun to watch, and I'm sad.
He was. I 100% agree with you, but at the same time, it's the best possible way for him to have gone out.
Yeah. The fact that the whole village is getting attacked by Trollocs, and he's actively like, well, okay, I want to go seek out the Aes Sedai and kill the Aes Sedai. Like, that's what he wanted to do.
He's still getting away from the battle.
It wasn't even like he stumbled upon her. He was looking for her.
Yes, he was away, hiding from the fighting and trying to find her.
Well, he killed. No, he did some
fighting.
Fight.
He does some fighting. He does.
Right.
He does kill a few.
He doesn't. I would not call what he does fighting.
Well, he's got one arm.
He kills. He's walking around.
His arms were out.
He's walking around in his sling, and he has his sword out and a white cloak who we don't even know if it's a bad white cloak. By the way,
that's true. He does.
He just like stumbles on it, and Valda stabs him and just keeps going. I would not call what he does fighting. He's not contributing to the cause.
Okay.
He just happens to be there, and someone practically, literally falls on his sword.
All right, whatever.
And
my point is that he's not concerning himself with the danger to the village, and he's just like, I want to go kill an Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
Look,
And
you have a calling, Joe.
Yes. And as I said, the sequence before this is probably my favorite sequence of the episode, like action sequence. This is probably the most satisfying part of the episode right here. Because I did not see that coming when he sees a lot of the two of them just get up and are like, fucking torch him. I was like, yes. Yes.
And then Alana's like, and now they can channel. So let's get the healing going.
Literally dying laughing.
Yes.
Yes. Laughing dying or dying laughing?
Yeah, both.
Yes.
Okay.
Stop
Also,
that laughing.
the girls didn't use their hands.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't.
Look at that.
Oh, good call, Brendan. I didn't notice that. I wasn't even paying attention. I was too riveted by it.
I've been saying since Valda's first appearance that he's going to get killed by an Aes Sedai without using their hands.
That's
It
right.
wasn't even an Aes Sedai.
Right. I was
He's
partially wrong.
He gives a you like, oh, it was you. You were the ones who were chilling. Yeah. Yep. And now you're going to burn. Yeah.
And like they make
So satisfying.
They're like, let's just make it clear to everybody he's really dead.
Oh, they make sure they hold on him burning for a while.
Yeah.
Right. Oh man.
Well, he deserved that.
Sure.
I think even with Lanford being awesome, probably still my favorite villain on the show so far. So I am sad to see him go, but this was, I think, as you and Brendan and Jen both put it, like the proper close for his arc.
Yeah. Bye, Valda.
It will also hopefully make it a little less terrible when Perrin and Matt eventually meet up again, because at least he got.
That's true.
We killed that guy. Don't worry.
Right. So I want to talk a little bit about Faine. I didn't see any dagger, by the way. Did anyone notice the dagger anywhere?
No,
he didn't kill anybody with the dagger. No. So I think maybe that was a little bit missed when people thought he had the dagger in that shot in the earlier episode. It wasn't.
There was an opportunity.
Never mind.
There's an opportunity for him to, if he was going to kill somebody with the dagger, there's an opportunity for him to do it when he kills the person in front of Perrin.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Just to like be like,
it's a dagger.
He picks up there. He just kills that woman. Yeah. Because I was like, ooh, was that the dagger? No, it wasn't even close.
I thought that was Marin Alvier when he first did it.
Oh yeah, that was like villager. That was like prominent women's counselor villager, because you see her in a bunch of shots. She's like a featured stunt actor, I think.
Okay.
Because you see her a bunch of times. And we learn why Faine actually is in the Two Rivers, right? He explains that. We get a little bit of exposition in this episode. He basically says that he's like, I don't care about any of you. I was like, the Dark One told me to come here and destroy the Two Rivers. He wants to send a message to Rand. And then Perrin makes his deal. But I'm wondering, like, think about this. He said the Dark One. Basically, he said the devil told me I need to do this. So what does he think the devil's going to do to him now that he didn't actually do what he was supposed to do? Like, one of those scenarios. Go ahead. Sorry.
Patton Faine has so far not accomplished any of what he's supposed to do, and the devil keeps giving him another shot. So,
he seemed to be failing up. Really, he was like a peddler.
Yeah,
he's leading an army.
Yeah,
yeah.
This is like usually one of those scenarios in a movie or something or a show where they go ahead and kill me because what my boss is going to do to me is way worse than what you're going to do to me scenario. That's why I'm only saying that, because it seemed like
that's a good point, actually.
Yeah. I would say, being that his boss is the devil, like if he dies, like he'll be right with the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you let me go, maybe I could run for a little while.
I'm so glad my insistence on calling him the devil over the last several years has infected you guys.
Yeah, I don't think he cares at that moment about anything other than not being dead.
Yeah, I think he thinks he can. He'll be running from the devil instead of with the devil. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I think it. While we were just rejoicing in a visceral victory of murdering somebody who deserved it, and Paden Fain definitely also deserves it. This is a. This is. I feel like Perrin comes out of his berserker rage enough to think, wait a second, this guy is probably controlling the Trollocs. The Trollocs are definitely being controlled by somebody. I can get everyone. I can save everyone if I let him live. You know, so I appreciate thinking occasionally. I don't know. I thought it was good. I wouldn't have minded if after all the Trollocs left, he would have thrown the axe, though. But like, you know, that's not how Perrin rolls.
Yeah,
I only kill you from the front.
Right.
I like the Trolloc language. That was cool.
Well, he did throw a hammer at Paden Fain to knock him down.
That's true.
Which was really fun.
That's also true. Yeah.
He's running. He's like, just throw the hammer at him, knock him down.
I didn't even realize he did that.
Yes.
I was expecting it to come back.
Yeah.
Like a
Like it was Mjolnir.
Yeah, it was very Crocodile Dundee. Doesn't he throw like a shoe at a guy or something? I think he's the original.
Austin Powers.
No, I'm pretty. No, Crocodile Dundee did it first. I will say that.
Okay.
He threw like a boot, or he threw, I think, his boot at somebody. He took off his boot and threw it at somebody.
For those of you keeping track, this is the second time Crocodile Dundee has come up on an episode of Talking About That.
Yes. It might have been the second one, but I think it's the first one. Anyway, it's the aftermath the next morning. Time to rebuild. There's an interesting conversation with Matt's sisters and Alana. They're like, are you going to take us back to the tower? And she's like, no, I think we've got something bigger or whatever she says more important to do. I'm curious as to what everyone thinks Alana's going to do with Matt's sisters. Like, what are the plans if they're not going back to the tower?
She's going to form the not shitty Aes Sedai.
Splinter group.
Yes. Like I said last week, she's going to form X-Force.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. Right. We said Aram's got a new job. He's going to maybe stay in the Two Rivers. We don't know for sure, but it seems like it. We find out that Loial knew the whole time that he wasn't coming back. And I mean, not coming back and not going home. He left that passage in the book for Perrin. It's kind of sad because who's going to pick up the story?
I don't know the answer to that.
That was like just as sad as like Loial being dead.
Right.
Just hoping like the story's not over right now.
No, but who's going to finish writing it?
I know. But.
Sam.
Right.
I guess so. Maybe Aram can do that now.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but I presume that the Ogier aren't the only ones who can write.
No. You see other people write.
No, I know that, but I'm saying like, who's going to be the?
There's nobody else who's a writer on. Yeah, right.
Yeah, who's going to follow them around and be the scribe or the
probably Faile? She's good at everything.
Yeah, she is good at everything.
I will say I appreciate that when Perrin was reading the book and it was in the made up fake language, the fake alphabet, they had voiceover instead of fucking subtitles for text like they did last season. That got me so mad.
Yeah, I think they were like, hey, whatever. It's a normal. I think hey, this character is no longer with us. Let's hear him.
Oh yeah, sure.
Worked. It worked. I don't care.
It's also.
I knew what they were doing. It didn't. It still worked. I was like, oh god damn it.
Yeah, two things about that too. Like if you notice, the music was it went to a more traditional fantasy style music. Like an epic kind of sweeping music. I don't know for the whole episode, but definitely for that part at the end there. And also just like right in the books, there's at the end of each book, there's always like some sort of quote from a historian or something like that, and you get to a point where, right, there's like quotes from Loyal. So that's what it kind of reminded me of. Like one of his quotes from his book, and it's just being when you read them in the actual books, they're actually just having him read one at the end of the episode. So I like that touch there. Yeah, and then Perrin keeps his promise to Dain and gives himself up. Hail Lord Perrin.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about this more after Brennan leaves too, because I know, I think people who read the books have a particular vibe about this, but like, I couldn't believe that this was how the season, like this story ended. I don't know. Maybe he'll have a scene in the next episode, but I severely doubt it. Like, and I'm so happy it did. Like, we've been talking, sometimes joking, sometimes not, about the fact that like Perrin has done legitimately just bad things in this show, and like, it's not inappropriate for him to like, okay, you know what? I have to own up to those things and not just go, well, I'm a lord now. You know? And like, sure, I murdered your dad, but like, these people will kill you. Like, that's not good. That's not like good. That's, I don't know. That's, yeah, I did, and I do it again. Like, you know, I don't know. So, I don't know. I was very surprised by this being the end of the episode, and also was like, this is a leader, even if it's not a leader, in a traditional fantasy sense, I guess. Yep,
I was a little surprised as well. I thought for a second there that the villagers were going to be like, "Nah, you ain't taking him," and it started to happen. But Perrin was like, "No. I'm going to go with them. No more violence." Perrin swore no violence again, forever.
Until the next time he has to kill someone.
Yeah.
I think even if the way to leave, disagrees, Perrin's like, well, they're monsters. Like,
yeah,
they're trying to eat people. I'm going to kill those.
I
kill Trollocs and Dark Friends.
No more normal people. There were a lot of Dark Friends instead of like the Dark Friend to Trolloc ratio was a little noticeable.
Well, they only got so many suits, man.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I think it's, joking aside, it's probably budget, but like, yeah. There's also, I think it's also important to know that that's how many Dark Friends there are. They can just have armies of bad people.
Yeah. It happens in Lord of the Rings too, right? There's whole armies of evil men.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Anything else before we give our ratings for this episode?
I don't think so.
All right. Whose turn is it to go first, Tom?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
That means you have to go first.
Okay. I love this episode. I think it is. I'm excluding episode 4, which is almost not like an episode of the show in how it's structured. This is I think the best episode of the show. I'm giving it 5 stars. There are nitpicks of it, and some of those nitpicks like you could delve into. I don't care. I don't care about any of them. Like, they're there, and I understand. I don't disagree with them. I don't care. This affected me emotionally on so many levels. This is the first time I watched this show, and I felt like I did really felt like I did reading the books.
It was almost there for me, but not quite there. It was up and down. This one was a seesaw for me because there were parts where I was like, there were nitpicks and they bothered me, but then like something cool would happen and I'd forget about it. Or something like emotional would happen and I'd forget about it. And even, Loyal dying, that was a shock for sure. But I was okay with it. Like, I got it. I understand why they did it. And if you watch the little like interview parts after the episode, there's one with Rafe and Marcus, and Rafe kind of talks about why they did it. And he's 100% right. Like, so I don't know. I had a tough time with trying to score this one. I think I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Okay. We're allowed to do 7 5s, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Don't look like you're so tired of me. That was your face.
Which
Yeah.
one of us?
Which one of the
one
three of us are you even talking
But
to?
probably
Okay.
all of you. But I was looking at Joe Square.
I didn't change expressions.
Probably. I was looking at my notebook. I was like, what the
Anyway, I'm going to give it a 4.75 because I really, really, really liked it. But I'm sad at the people who aren't on the show anymore, even though I get it and they were deserved it, whatever. It played out well in the story. That's why I'm giving it a 4.75. But it makes me sad to see them go. So I'm going to give it, so I can't love it. It can't be a 5 for me. It's a 4.75.
All right. I was going to call you Perrin, Brendan.
Perrin.
All right,
Don't do
Brendan.
that to him.
I'm gonna give it a 4. It was very good. Everything was very well done. Everything was very well done. There was nothing in it that I thought was like bad and there was a lot of stuff I liked, but this sounds like I'm joking, but there's only so much I can really like in a spotlight episode about Perrin. He is easily the main character I enjoy the least. As I've said before, I think when all is said and done, I think Perrin's whole story is going to be interesting to look back on, but watching it happen from week to week, it's not working for me. I will say that if we see Perrin next week, I'm lowering it to a 3.5. This should be it for Perrin for season 3.
Yes, yeah. I agree wholeheartedly. I don't even want to see nothing. He should be done, and you should just be like, what's going to happen next?
Yeah,
yes.
I agree. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think we're going to see Perrin next episode, but who the hell knows, man?
Yeah, that's true.
You never
Give me
know.
half an hour about him.
Yeah.
And
right.
All right, Brendan.
All right, guys.
You got through the Perrin episode. Smooth sailing
and
from
again,
here.
I thought it was the best possible Perrin episode.
Yeah.
And it's still only a 4 out of 5.
Well, that's it.
Yep. All right, guys.
And we're back to talk about some spoilers. And boy, it's a lot of interesting things in here that went against the books. Starting with Loial dying. I was very, very shocked. I was wondering, I was like, why are they why is it so complicated not complicated? Why is it so difficult to close a Waygate permanently? And I'm like trying to piece this together. And I'm like, oh, they're just trying to make it more dramatic. And I'm like, are they going to kill him? Is Loial going to die?
They just he just took the leaf off, right? And left with is that?
Yeah, you take the leaf off from the inside so they can't open it.
And then they just were being chased by the army. That's why it was dangerous.
Yeah.
It was him and Gaul.
Gaul. Yeah.
Yeah. And he comes back running, carrying Gaul. Yeah. Wow. So I think, you can talk logistically about hey, that actor probably didn't love having a recurring role in a fantasy thing where he's just encased in tons and tons of prosthetics, and Loial doesn't really do a lot in the books until he gets an army of those guys to fight in the last battle, which is cool, but they're probably not going to do that either. So, and it's funny because I think it was last episode or the episode before, but Brendan spoke about the fact that our main characters are never gonna die. They're gonna there's no worry about that. And Loial wasn't a main character, but he was a main part of the party in a way that he's not a secondary. I think that adds stakes to this in a way that I think whatever, killing off another warder or something like that necessarily wouldn't. But what I'm concerned about is there's no Gaul, there's no Loyal. Like, is Perrin gonna like talk to anybody?
Yeah.
Well, there's right. You have Aram.
If Aram, maybe Aram doesn't do the Aram. Like maybe Aram just becomes like a good person,
becomes his Gaul and Loyal,
right? Or maybe Dain does.
Or that's my other thing. Yes,
come on.
I so want Dain to join Perrin now, man.
Yes,
I'm pulling for that.
So I think two things, right? I think like the way that it sets up, just on that, like, are they going to reverse the rescue storyline?
I said that yesterday on the Dusty Wheel.
Faile. Right. Like, are they going to have Faile and then the Tuvers folk rescue Perrin from the White Cloaks?
How funny would that be?
Or are they going to have like the Sean should come back and like they have to team up and like they have to bury things. I want them to be buddies. Sorry.
I don't know how they're resolving. I have no idea. That was the most shocking thing to me of the entire episode. I think that was more shocking than Loyal dying, that Perrin went with them.
Oh, no, I felt that coming. Like, it never landed with me in the book. Like, as many times I read the books, the end of this story, like the very end, like, Perrin just isn't, like, he just doesn't do the right thing there. Right now,
but also the White Cloaks ran away,
and the White Cloaks ran away. Right, it's a different. It's a whole different. And Perrin didn't kill his dad.
Yes, right? Yes.
But Perrin did kill his dad, and the White Cloaks do the right thing. And Dain comes and fights and saves everybody. And he's like, "Hey, man, can I put you on trial like you said I could?" And so Perrin does, and I'm like, you know. I don't know.
This is like off the rails, though, is what I'm saying. It's well off the rails. They're going to have to make up a whole bunch of shit for this now. Like, make it up. We're talking. We're not getting anything that happens in the books in the near future in Perrin's storyline, unless they just resolve it in one episode and then he goes back on his merry way to his book storyline.
Yeah, well, he's not in the 5th book, really, right? He's in one scene.
He's not in the next,
and he's not really in a lot of the 6th book either. He's in it at the end, but like he goes, he's like, Rand's in trouble, he needs me, I gotta go. That's the beginning of the book, and then he shows up like 3/4 of the way through.
He is.
So like,
actually, no, is it the end of the Fires of Heaven where he's? No, it's not.
No, it's the beginning of
okay.
Yeah.
He feels him tugging. There's been no tugging in any of these episodes.
No, but that doesn't.
There's not really much Taviran like, hey, this strange shit's happening. Oh, you're Taviran, so that's probably why. They don't really.
Yeah, they tease it a little bit, but there's no like weird. There's no weird shit.
Yeah,
like like Tom's like, you're Taviran. I can see the threads tugging on the pattern.
I think things are happening that we just attribute to like TV characters.
Yeah, that
are really like Matt, just the guy being like, hey, I just found exactly what you wanted in my dad's shop.
He has a bunch of old stuff, like this ancient, super powerful relic. Yeah.
And there's no way Perrin isn't getting out of this because now Galad is the head of the White Cloaks, and his mom was traveling with Perrin, and like this, none of that's happening.
Right. Well, even in that, like, if memory serves, and it's been a little while since I've reread that, but like, he loses that trial, right? Like, it may be slightly justified, but you still kill.
But it's like the whole thing is like your sentence. No, it's one of those. I forget the word. Right? Your sentence is
commuted until after.
Yes.
Right.
That's what happens. Yeah. Like they're basically agree. Like, well, we need him and for the last battle, so like let's not shoot ourselves in the foot here. Once the last battle's over, we'll come and revisit this if any of us are still alive.
Right. So, like, Valda's dead.
Yeah.
Who's the bad White Cloak? Is there a bad White Cloak? Is Dain the villain now? Is Dain going to become a villain?
I don't think so. I think we'll get introduced to a new White Cloak. Like, is Bayer still around? Like, we introduced Bayer. He was in the scene, and that was it.
Who knows?
we still could potentially have like Asunawa or Pedronile or somebody. Like they could introduce a new White Cloak easily. But yeah, this, and I mean, they could theoretically do some of the storyline from the books where more, not that I want them to do any of this, Morghese is captured and whoever this other White Cloak is the one who mistreats her and Galad and all that stuff. I don't think any of that's going to happen though. Yeah, I was a little upset. I was so happy though that the way Valda went, but yeah, I was a little upset. Like, oh, no more Valda.
Yeah. I know.
He was kind of just wandering around the background of most of the season. So
yeah, like he was great, but like they had already kind of run out of stuff for him to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very curious because I agree with you, man. I feel like that's going to be completely just like whatever he's going to be doing in the next season, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm really curious because I have no idea. Like you said, he's not really in the next 2 books much, or he's like gone for a book and a half, basically.
Yeah, he comes back and he helps save Rand at Dumai's Wells.
So I don't know what he's going to be doing. If they're going to likely be going to Tyr next season, it seems like it. I don't know how much time they're going to spend there, but it seems like Kalandor's going to be involved probably next season. But yeah, so I want to ask a question. Is Faine replacing Slayer? Is this in the sense of like he's going to be Perrin's like arch rival instead of Slayer, since we haven't seen anything about Slayer and they've kind of all but like forgotten about the Wolf Dream and
I think so. Faine's also not opposed to the Dark One and like what hates everybody. He's just a powerful Dark Friend.
I think maybe now he's going to be potentially, because like I said, if put yourself in his shoes, he said the Dark One sent him to do something, right? Are you going to be one? You're going to go back to the Dark One and tell him you failed? Like I would have. That's one of those scenarios where like, go ahead and kill me. Like what's going to happen to me if I go back empty-handed or unsuccessful is going to be way worse than what you're going to do to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but like the dagger is just not in the show anymore. Like it's not in the show. So like,
I guess it's not,
and like he doesn't seem to be crazy like that, or he's not. No. He's not more. You know, none of that seems to be there. Yeah. Now I would say this: like I thought Lord Luke was just like a drop-in character, but then you brought him back this episode, and he's riding next to Faine when Faine comes up.
No, he was with Dain.
So. He's with Dain, and when Dain rolls up, in the beginning. When they all marched in at the end, he's riding next to Faine.
Is he?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Sure.
I didn't see.
I gotta go back and watch.
Sure, that wasn't. Maybe that was Bayer.
They could have been Bayer because they're both tall, thin guys with mustaches. But I thought it was him.
But Bayer.
He was with
White Cloak. He's not. Yeah, he's not with.
Well, maybe Faine.
Well, they all think that this guy is.
Yeah, they all think they're White Cloaks, so they're hanging out together.
Yes. Yes. Luke. So I don't know. I'm seeing 2 different people say I'm right and I'm wrong. So I don't know. But yeah, I think there's a potential that Lord Luke is there for some other purpose, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, why even have him on the show? Like, and have that big introduction where he's like,
it wasn't a big introduction.
Yeah, but like if you're not going to use him for something, why can't Faile just have been there by herself? Why does she need this guy to also be traveling with her?
Well, again, just to put Luke in there. Seriously.
Right, but like
nothing? No, they don't do that.
Yeah. They basically did it with Ingtar almost.
Ingtar had played in the same part.
They put Cheyenne.
Right, it's just
right, but
general
they weren't like,
gets ice.
Has a line.
That's like in the closed captioning that it says Cheyenne. Like, do they even say her name? Number one.
I don't know.
And they're not like, this is Lord Luke. Not that like, this is Lady Cheyenne. She's a very important dark friend.
Bayer.
Hello, how are you? Right. They're just like,
well, yeah.
They're like, Child Bayer. He just says his name, and we're like, oh my God, it's Child Bayer. Like the same thing with Basil Gill.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think that's why why they're named that, Jen. So we go like, oh, it's that person.
No, but there's no reason for Luke to exist.
Well, I would say like
That character.
I thought it was that in the like when he was introduced in the second or third episode, whatever it was. Like I thought, oh, like it's just going to be like that's what it was. It's a Basil Gill kind of a thing. But to bring him back in this episode, and he doesn't do anything. He's just there, mentioned a couple of times. And
he's the one who arranges. Like he goes to the White Cloaks to barter a meeting between Perrin and Dain.
Right. No, I understand. Like I understand what he does in the episode, but I'm like. That could have been anyone. That could have been Faile. That could have been, well, maybe not.
And she wouldn't have been in that scene, though.
Right. But it could have been...
The beginning scene.
It could have been like, I sent a message.
And he's coming.
And we're going to meet them in the past.
When?
He's agreed to meet.
At sunup, or I don't know, whatever the fuck. And then they just meet. Like, why did you tell Luke to set... Like,
maybe he's going to be...
Luke in weeks. Like, what are you talking... Like,
maybe he's going to be important later. I don't know.
Right. That's the only thing I could think.
No, otherwise it could just be that they just wanted to put Luke in there. Rafe wanted to put Luke in there and have him do something.
He doesn't even say anything. He just sits there on the horse.
Yeah. Maybe they cut his line out. Who knows?
Maybe they cut a scene. Who knows? I honestly don't... Could be that, but
I think Rafe's just trying to put in characters from the books, like whether they're actually playing the roles of their characters or playing a part of the roles. Yeah, like Liddy.
Literally holding the baby.
Like Ingtar, like Bayer, like...
Ingtar had a big part.
Not as big as the books, but...
Ingtar's part was also, like, partly ruined by COVID because he was, like, in the first season.
Yeah.
And then they had to, like,
Lord
bunch it
Yakuta.
up. So, like
Agomar.
Yes, Agomar.
Yeah, well.
And Amalisa. And all of these characters, Rafe's just putting them in to use, for one, because he's like, okay, we need a character to do something. Oh, let's pull this character from the book and have them do.
So, but what? I'm not forgetting.
You're saying, like, what did he do? You're saying, like, what did he do?
Right. Like, Agomar and Amalisa had parts in the story.
Right. If you took Luke out of this season,
there's no reason.
Well, it makes sense that Faile was with other people.
I guess. Like, yeah.
I came in with a group. Like, there's no to have this guy's name and Perrin be like Lord of what? Like, it's setting up.
Would it be even stranger that you never learn any of the names of the other people in the group that she came with who were there?
No, it's just like, who cares?
Yeah. I don't know. I think you just named them. I think Rafe just named them. Let's call him Lord. Let's. There's a group. There's going to be a few people with Faile. Let's give him a line or two and call him Lord Luke.
I don't know. I think he's going to do something.
Yeah,
Jacob Carradine. Like, I know he has a purpose.
I think there's a purpose for that.
But not everybody has a purpose. Jen.
Everyone has a purpose, Joe.
I think not everybody has a purpose.
It was about all of them, Joe.
It's about Lord Luke.
It's about Lord Luke.
About a man who was evil but wasn't evil in the show. He had no purpose.
Or maybe he was. I don't know, depending on which guy with a mustache was riding next to Fate.
They better not all of a sudden make him like Slayer and like a whole wolf dream thing with him, because I'll be like,
so I would imagine that like Perrin's next season story arc is the wolf dream and like embracing his wolfy powers.
Oh, that's what they could do next season. They could have him and Hopper doing some wolfy stuff in the...
Is it weird? Is it going to be weird though? And it's like, hey, you can go in the dream too.
Well, it is weird, but it's kind of that what happens in the books too.
It's like all happening at the same time though.
It is. Yes.
Everyone can be in the dream.
Yeah. It's all happening in this book.
Well, I think it'll be interesting. You could do it in a way where like Perrin doesn't know, like he knows what the wolf dream is, and then like he runs into Egwene and you realize it's the same thing. Like kind of a vibe. But whatever.
All right. There was one thing missing from this episode that was disappointing. Can anyone guess?
The cousin at the end.
Oh, the literal sun in the sky.
Oh, the little no, because his family's not dead, so it wouldn't even hit home. Yeah, I thought you were going to say it was too dark. I thought that's what you were going to.
Boy.
Yeah, the Alcenes were cool.
Yeah, that was.
There was no fades.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today.
No Murdrawl. That was very disappointing. Like, why didn't you just put like one or two Murdrawl in there? Like, they're just people in costumes. It's not like a lot. It's less work than a Trolloc. Right?
Yeah.
Without seeing their faces, just like hooded people.
You could have literally had them from the back, just being awesome fighters in the middle of the battle.
Yeah, give me like 2 of them.
So
it would
maybe
be cool to like decapitate a Fade and see like a bunch of Trollocs fall down.
Yes. Well, they kept that whole thing where like Faine was leading them. It seems like they were somehow linked to Faine.
Right. So maybe that's where you take that. If you do want to take this, Faine is this rogue element within the dark of like he's usurping the natural order of like the Dark One's armies and directly controlling these things instead of ordering merge all around or whatever. Maybe that was intentional. I don't know.
Yeah. It would have been cool. I mean, I guess you could say he killed the Fates, right? Like we get it. I mean, there's still that no answer to that question. The door draw. Yeah, that's the only thing I thought that was missing in this episode. I was like, come on, give me like a couple of Fades to. It would have been nice to show maybe like have Alana kill one potentially, or Maxim or Perrin or something like that, or maybe Dain and Perrin could have tag team a Fade. That would have been awesome.
Or Bane and Triad.
Oh
right?
Yeah, out there.
Right, they're the best fighters.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think of that. I hear you 100% though. No, I think the other thing I wanted to say, like, because I made mention of it in the first part of the episode. In the books, obviously, there's a lot more of Perrin hunting Trollocs than this is just like, hey, there's a problem. Okay, we're going to deal with it now at the end. And that whole, we're attacking them this way, and then they come from behind and seriously hurt us happens to Perrin. Like that, what happens to Alana happens to Perrin in the middle of this. Like, that's when they get involved with the Tinkers and everything. So, like, I thought it was a nice kind of callback to like these Trollocs are being generaled. We have to think about how they fight differently than they normally do. They're not just like packs of beasts.
Isn't there? And also, though, there's 2 different groups of Trollocs in there that are working independently in the books, right? There's Slayer's got Trollocs. He's the one letting him in through the way gate, right? And Fane's got Trollocs.
Yes.
So that's an interesting part. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they should have gotten into that. Well, obviously, there's no Slayer, but still, like, I think you don't want to make anything that complex and complicated for the show. Yeah, and I think there's signs of that, right? Because they're like, the Trollocs don't seem to be working together, but it's not typical Trolloc, disorganization. It seems like that there's 2 different groups working independently of each other. Yeah. I don't think I have anything else spoiler stuff on that side. I don't know if anybody else does that they wanted to talk about.
I just have one thing we noticed at the beginning is when the Tinkers come in and then Illa says, other refugees from around the 2 rivers are here. And like all of a sudden, Dan was like, the 2 rivers is their town, isn't it? It's like on the show it is. Because they never called it Emmons Field. They only called their town the 2 rivers. Mm-hmm. But now all of a sudden there's like, they're going back to like the book usage of 2 rivers.
Well, I thought she meant
places.
I thought she meant like farms, like on the outskirts. That's kind of what I was thinking of, because not everybody lives in town, and it seemed like the town was smaller in this season than it was in the first season. But
I think it was just because of the walls. Like, honestly, I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought she meant like the farms on the outskirts. Okay. That's what I took from it. I didn't. But it's weird that she said that there were other 2 Rivers people, but none of them came back with her. Like, they must all be dead.
You saw them riding in, I thought.
No.
Yeah, there were people not in wagons.
But they weren't. They were Tinkers, though. I thought everybody.
I don't think so. I thought there were other people coming in when she said that.
Oh, I thought they were all Tinkers. I thought they were dressed like Tinkers. Okay.
And then I'm curious as to like whether that was also kind of a setup for what happens to the 2 rivers after Perrin becomes Lord of it, where like it starts to become a little bit more cosmopolitan, and like you see not thatched roofs and 2-story houses and this.
But doesn't that start happening before Perrin gets there? Like when he gets back, there are people from over the mountains of mist have come, like people from Aragoman.
No, it starts happening I think after he's Lord, because like just because of the timing of it. There might be a couple, but no, I think that's mostly like when in book 5, Egwene goes to the Two Rivers in the dream, and she sees that it looks different. She sees the wolf head banner and the Manetheren flag, and that there's tile roofs and things like that. And then when you go back to Perrin later on, he really talks about how it's got a bunch of refugees from all the fighting on the Almonth Plain.
All right. Chat's saying that starts happening after the Great Hunt. So I think it's after. I think that happens after Winter Night. Like when he goes back for this book, there's already things have started to change a bit.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Pretty sure. Yeah, no Saldaeans, Jen.
Sense.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Nope. It was the White Cloaks. The White Cloaks came.
You get half credit for that, Jen. Someone came.
Someone always comes. Anyway, last words before we wrap this up. Final points.
No.
No, I think I'm good.
One episode left.
One episode left, everybody. I want to remind you all to follow us on social media. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. Join us over in Discord to continue the conversation there. We also post our episodes on YouTube. That I wanted to say at the beginning of the episode, but yeah, we've done a ton of interviews with cast members from the show. Go check out our YouTube page because they were all video interviews, so we posted them on YouTube. It's the only way you can see them, with the exception of the Marcus interview, which was audio only, and we'll be putting that out on the normal podcast feed if it's not out already. Rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out our merchandise Patreon pages to support us that way. Links to all the aforementioned information are included in the show notes to this episode. Final words, Jen and Tom.
Only one more to go.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe it.
Golden Eyes. They could have used a little bit of Golden Eyes cheer at the end, maybe, but it's okay. Thanks everyone for listening, and you'll hear us next time.